This video is sponsored by Boxu. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Contributor series where I invite a super talented and somewhat underrated food creator from somewhere in the whole wide world, and I ask them to introduce us to one of their comfort foods and tell us a little bit about what makes that food so special. This week, our contributor is going to take us straight to the streets of Egypt, of Cairo. So everyone, say hello to Salma. I love your approach to food and to cooking. For those people who, unlike me, don't know who you are yet, how about you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and what your connection to food is?
Sure. So my name is Salma Serri. I'm from Egypt. I grew up in Dubai, and ever since I was young, I've just had this really strong connection to food and watching my mom cook and just collecting little cookbooks. And now food is literally all I do. I read about it, I study it, I obviously cook and do a lot of eating. And so when it comes to my studies, I'm specifically interested in the history of food and how food came to be the way we know it today, and specifically in the Middle East and the region of Southwest Asia and North Africa. This is where my studies focus. My page is where I collect and document my research journey, talking about and featuring different dishes and different stories about ingredients and food practices and food ways from around the Middle East. It's Sufra_Kitchen on Instagram. I'm very excited to be showing you a dish today called Koshary from Egypt. So it's a dish that is hearty, it's spicy, it's tangy, it's warm, and it keeps you really well fed throughout the entire day. Even though Egypt has a long history of dating more than 4,000 or 5,000 years old civilization, Koshary is pretty new. It has only appeared in the 20th century, maybe the end of the 19th century, and not before that. So it was never found in any cookbooks or any literary references. So it's pretty new as a dish, but it's ironically the Egyptian national dish. You find it just on the street. This is where it first emerged as a street food, and until now, it is one of the most popular street foods in Egypt. It's very accessible all throughout the regions of Egypt, particularly in whatever the city or a town, and you find it in really the very busy hubs in the cities. A pot of rice, a pot of pasta, a pot of lentils, and a little bit of sauce, and then it all comes together in front of you. One of the really interesting things about it is that the people making it approach it as an entertainment show. So even the way they toss the rice and the lentils is very dramatic and it really draws any passerby, and it makes you really want to try the dish.
The show aspect of street food, never underestimate that. How do you make koshary at home with the recipe that you developed?
So the first thing you do is you boil the lentils, and after you boil the lentils, you add it to the cooked rice, a parboiled rice. It doesn't become sticky at the end. So really the trick is to kind of just give the rice a little bit of stir fry at the beginning with a little bit of oil. You know, it helps the rice become fluffy and not sticky with the lentils. And then you fry the onions, and the onions really is, you might think of it as just a garnish, but it's with the lentils, it becomes the key central flavor, this caramelized, crunchy, crispy onion that you fry on the side. Don't burn the onions, I would say, is the most important thing, because it's very quick to just, take a glance somewhere else, and in a few seconds it'll be burnt. So cook it through, make sure it's crispy and not soft and wilty. A little trick is to leave some of the oil that you fried the onions in. Cook with the rice and the lentils, so it gives it this nice flavorful oniony taste that is really delicious. And then you make the pasta sauce, which is, it's a classic Italian just sauce with a little bit of garlic. And usually what we do is we either use tomato paste, that is a concentrate of the paste, or we use chopped tomatoes that are canned, or you might even just use a couple of old tomatoes that have been lying in your fridge and just repurpose them, let them boil with a little bit of water and simmer it down. Add a bit of chili if you like, and of course salt and pepper, and then all comes together at the end, and drizzle a little bit of lemon and vinegar sauce, and you're good to go. Oh, and of course I forgot the chickpeas. Chickpeas are important in my family, but they're not necessarily, found in all Koshary. So every family or every street vendor has their own little touches. Some add a little bit of garlic in the final vinegar lemon sauce, the vinaigrette. Some do without the garlic. Some throw in a lot of chili. Others don't like any spices in it. So there's a lot of customization in the dish as well, which I really like.
Of course. The best recipes are the ones where it's like not like strictly you have to do it this way, but it's one where everyone can sort of add a little bit of their own personality to them. I think that's pretty important. Here's one thing I would love to ask you, because like you're pretty good at understanding like the origins of like how ingredients travel and how new flavors emerge. So when you talk about this, you already mentioned that the sauce is a little bit similar to Italian sauces, which already made me listen up. And then you tell me that there's also pasta in Koshary. How did pasta end up in Egypt's national dish?
There was a lot of European and Italian and a lot of Greek communities that lived in Cairo and Alexandria at the time. The introduction of pasta into Egypt was something that was widely popular at the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century, and a lot of local factories in Egypt started to produce pasta with the Italian style. Now, most pasta in Egypt is just called macarona, which is macaroni, and not pasta. And it's usually referred to the small macaroni type, close to the elbow-shaped pasta. And this is what is used most commonly in the Koshary. So the Italian influence with the pasta and the sauce, the red sauce, together with the Indian influence, was kind of brought together by Egyptians of the 20th century, and in the street was the most popular and most enjoyed dish. So it's quite interesting for a national dish for sure.
Italians, they are very strict about how long you cook the pasta. They have this al dente thing where it's like it must be like a little bit firm. Is that how Egyptians would cook their pasta? Do Egyptians prefer it like a little bit hard on the inside, or would they just kind of cook it soft?
Egyptians prefer to generally make sure that their food is cooked through and through, and that kind of gives it a different texture. And also, specifically in the case of Koshary, it kind of balances it out all the other textures where you have the crisp in the onions and you have a little bit of chewiness in the pasta. And of course, the lentils is just like soft and buttery. So I think it does its purpose in this dish. And make sure you enjoy it and invite your friends over and have a taste of Egypt.
Thank you so much, Salma. I hope everybody is heading over to Sufra Kitchen now and subscribing and following your really interesting and eye-opening work. And we will now taste Koshary for the very first time in our lives, and we'll make sure to send you a picture and let you know how it tasted and how it came out. All right, before we move on with the recipe, I'd like to share a message from one of my favorite channel sponsors, Boxu. Why do I love Boxu so much? Because it's a monthly snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings. Every month, you're gonna receive a box just like this one, filled to the brim with delicious Japanese snacks, and yes, it's shipped straight from Japan. And don't worry, it's a different box every single time. This is the Moon Festival themed box, which we already opened last time and tried an incredibly delicious corn snack. I have never tasted anything like this in my life. This right here is the booklet that belongs to this box, which is sort of, the key to all these snacks. I'll explain in a second, but first, let's choose another delicious snack, and I feel like something sweet this time. Let's see what Boxu has to offer. I actually kind of feel like having chocolate, and this one right here, well, it says baked chocolat. Can you see it? Baked chocolat, which Pretty much sounds like exactly the thing I need right now. But before we try it, I told you this booklet right here is the key to all of these. That's because Bokksu always pairs up with these traditional little family-run snack makers in Japan, and this booklet explains the origins and backstories of all of these snacks, and they also give you some practical information like ingredients and common allergens. Okay, there it is. Rich baked chocolate. Ooh, apparently it contains a little bit of rum, which I personally think goes super well with chocolate. Oh my god, this might be the most chocolatey thing I have ever smelled in my entire life. Let's try baked chocolat, the chocolatiest thing in the entire universe. Probably. Oh my god. If you ever had a good brownie, this is kind of like that, but somehow even softer and creamier. How do you physically get this much chocolate in a thing this small? Amazing. Okay, I still have a ton of snacks left over, which I'm gonna go and try with my friends, because honestly guys, snacks are meant to be shared and there's plenty for a lot of your friends here. So if you're anything like me and you love getting a little snackable piece of Japanese culture delivered straight to your house, then you should absolutely check out Bokksu. Use my code Andong10 and the link in the video description to get 10% off your own authentic Japanese snack box subscription from Bokksu. Do not miss out on this delicious snack journey through Japan. The koshari is served.
Oh, if you could smell the room right now, it's like all onion, like fried onion galore.
Fried onion heaven. I love it. It smells fantastic. I was a bit hesitant. I mean, in theory, I knew that this must be a good dish if so many people love it, but I was very confused about like 3 different types of carbs coming together. But I think it works. Let's quickly talk about the process. I think the only tricky part about this is there are lentils, there are chickpeas, there is rice, and there is pasta. And in theory, you have to cook all of those at the same time. With chickpeas, you can buy them canned. That's a workaround. But with lentils, rice, and pasta, I don't think there's much you can do. So what we did is actually we pre-cooked the pasta and we pre-cooked the lentils, and those can just kind of hang out. And then when you're ready to cook, you just make the rice fresh. Everything else can be added in from the fridge or from wherever you set them aside to. Oh, and then I think the trickiest part has gotta be the onions, right? The onions, because it's like you start frying the onions and they just sit there and sit there and sit there and nothing happens. And then around, what, maybe the 15-minute mark or so, like all of a sudden, like, oh, they're a little bit brown. Wait, stop. And it's like, it's really like you have like a window of 1 minute. So do not go watch YouTube videos. Unless they're mine, but you don't watch other YouTube videos. Enough said. I think it's time to try the carb fest of our lives. Should we like get a nice like mixed bite with everything? Yo, that's a sweet bite. That's a delicious bite. Woo! Okay, ready? Go. No! Stop! Don't talk.
I don't miss the fact that the pasta is not al dente.
An Italian person would tell us that we overcooked the pasta. Not only does it work, I also think that this tiny little mini macaroni pasta is actually really good. That's a beautiful pasta shape.
Yeah, it's actually quite strong flavors. You would think that with all the carbs, that
it's bland.
It's bland, but you have so much flavor in here.
I want to get a bite with extra fried onions. So, like if you have a big family, this is a great dish to make.
Or meal prep.
Or meal prep. True. I think this will go with anything. You can make this. You can eat this with chicken, fish, tofu, anything. Literally anything. So good. Thank you, Salma. Okay, I am very, very, very pleased with the result of this. This was honestly mind-blowingly good. My brain thought this can't be good. It's just like carbs. But then my heart was like, no. So many people love it. It's gotta be good. And I was not disappointed. The heart always wins. That's a quote for you Eypee, can you put the heart always wins. Thank you. And with that said, I just want to thank Salma again for introducing us to Koshary, a dish that I am very glad I know now. It has expanded my culinary horizons, and who knew that Egyptians are such big fans of pasta? Well, now we all know. I don't think I made this for the last time. So, go show Salma some love, subscribe to her Instagram, subscribe to this channel as well, and with that said, thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
So this was Koshary, all the way from Egypt. I'd love for you to try it out and let me know. Send me pictures of the dish, or if you have any questions or you want to check out more inspiration from the region of Southwest Asia and North Africa, not just Egypt, head over to @Sufra_Kitchen on Instagram, and I'll see you there.